So good afternoon, everyone. I will be presenting about invasive plant management conducted in the Vallee de Mai. So firstly, what are invasive species? So invasive species are introduced species either by human or through natural processes, which cause harm to the ecosystem. And this is done through competition from nutrients, space, and habitat, and which may cause native species to decrease and even go extinct. As you can see in the picture, this is a philodendron creeper that competes with other species for space and also sunlight. So in 2012, a management project of such species was initiated. And this was a fully funded project by the European Union. So the project started with the register of invasive adult trees in 101 10 by 10 meter survey plots. And this registry was done on big trees, so it was called the Big Tree Survey. So this was done in collaboration with the Seychelles Parks and Gardens Authority, as 105 plots were found in the national park. As you can see, these are the plots in the map further down. So during this survey, 10 invasive species were found most abundant in the reserve. So we had cinnamon, lagati, viatang, coco plum, boison, calice du pape, santal, lavani, boisbert, and caoutchouc. So on the graph here, as you can see, the most abundant trees are calice du pape, lagati, cornel, followed by caoutchouc trees. So for calice du pape, we had 885 individuals. For lagati, 771, and cornel, 422 individuals. So it's quite a lot. So at the same time, for planning, we've also planned the methods better used to control these trees. So we used drilling, where we would drill holes in the trees, pour in herbicide, and cover it with putty. We also did rim barking, also using herbicide, and painted it with a paintbrush. So all of these were done in fond paper to prevent unnecessary use of herbicide in Vallee de Mai Reserve. So before this, I know maybe some of you will ask, why not just cut down the trees? So we conducted a canopy gap experiment to see the impacts that just cutting down trees would do in the forest, not only to damage other plants, but also what effects they will have to the surrounding ecosystems. So we discovered that native plants does not have as much success as introduced plants when it comes to huge canopy gaps. So hence, after these trials, we started the control of these trees, and at the same time, we were removing saplings. So we also controlled creepers, such as viatang and philodendron, where we used manual removal from pulling of these trees and setting them to dry on an iron tray called the tata. And this is done with the assistance of the field workers and two of our qualified climbers, Terence and Jerry Rose. So a very big thank you for the field workers. We also conducted herbicide trials, as you can see on the picture far left. We used herbicide in a Ziploc bag to try and control philodendron stumps. But this did not work because philodendron releases sap to dilute the herbicide. So we also conduct tree checks every 2 months to see the progress of the control that we have done. So percentage of how many leaves has fallen, the health of the tree, if the tree is fruiting, flowering, or budding through phenology, and also the defense responses that they have, such as regrowth of bark, aerial roots, explosive fruiting and flowering, and as well as resprouts. So to continue the project, another funded project called the Invasive project was done in 2017, where we continue to control cocoa plum and guava through manual removal, and also cutting and treating the stumps as the trees were quite smaller than the adult trees. So we also conducted drilling on introduced palms and the remaining lagati and calisgipap trees, and as well as herbicide trials such as basal barking using biodiesel and herbicide, and we would paint them on the stumps without drilling or even rebarking them. This trial was also conducted on philodendron, but however, this also did not work. Okay. So we also have a steward scheme plot where we work alongside with Miss Maria, the Education and Outreach Program Coordinator, where we give education to the community, such as children from clubs, and as well as to the local communities, especially to farmers as well. So in this plot, its objective is to restore it and get it back to its natural state, and by planting native and endemic plant species. As you can see in the first picture, this was the plot before, and in the middle is when we have engagement with school kids to plant the trees. So up till now, we have controlled quite a lot of trees. And as you can see, the remaining ones are still calisgipap, lagati, and cornel. However, we have managed to control kautsu, but now we have some santal and jackfruit that are remaining. So overall, we have successfully controlled 2,065 trees, and it remains 770 trees to control. And as for philodendron and biatang, as you can see, it is much more situated in the southern part of Vallee de Mai in 42 plots, and this is done through observations by the team. So we have seen that through drilling and herbicide, this is the best method used to control adult trees in Vallee de Mai, as it is the safest way and prevents the herbicide being dropped out on the ground, as well as creepers are very resistant to herbicide, so manual removal is the best option for this species. So we continue to engage with the community through maintenance of the steward scheme plot and the rehabilitation program that the Education and Outreach is conducting now. And we are also continuing to educate our community, schools, wildlife clubs, and others. So while we have done a lot, continuing the monitoring is the key to control these trees. So many thanks to our partners who have supported us in a way or another, and a big thanks to the management team from Prale and Mahe, and a very big thank you to the field workers that has successfully helped us remove these invasive species. Thank you.